Cases lawyers wanted to lose. According to Reddit, number 15. A serial killer murdered a locally famous man in 2017. This victim owned a restaurant and was very popular in the city. He was a good human being. About 6 months after his murder, a lady comes in claiming his house was hers. Backtrack about 20 years, the client and the victim bought a piece of property together. They are both on the title. They split up. She leaves a property that is literally falling apart. The property was close to being condemned. The victim hasn't had contact with my client in 15 years. He did all the work on the house and paid the mortgage. The victim's kids are suing my client for half the house. If there is a God, they would get all of it. In short, a house she had nothing to do with that is worth $600,000 might be hers because a serial killer murdered the owner. She's a horrible person. I want to quit the firm because of this case. But the sad truth of the matter is, it's your job as a lawyer to do all of this shit that may or may not fall into the realm of true, may not fall into the realm of morally righteous, but it's your job. Linda says hello, Kyle, and hello, Dia. Hello to you, Linda. Hello to True Shotas. True Shota says, man, I hate shitty lawyers. Public defender had me plead guilty for shit I didn't do. Told me it would avoid me going back to court. Sounds about right. It's all about them making money off ya. So tricking you into believing certain shit, hey, if it keeps more heads in prison, boy, they have a winner. Why the hell does Elizabeth think that they have the first comment? If it's the first like, well, there goes that comment. They deleted it. Yeah. And I hoped they learned a lesson. Guys, all you gotta do is not be too vocal, man. That's that tiny titty energy. I believe in you. Okay? Dunk them titties in coffee. Number 14. Public defender. Definitely yes. Oh God. A man was on trial for being inappropriate with his own children. So that's 2 entries in, and that's where we end up. This applies to several people that I've defended? What the hell? Oh. And that's the society we live in, is that, everybody deserves due process as far as a trial that, sees them represented, because they may or may not be guilty. But when you got the evidence, man, just put cameras everywhere. Who cares about you naked? We need to live in a world where we can be able to hack the curviest girls we know's home cameras and just, relieve some... I'm kidding. As we continue to number 13, Social Security disability attorney here. I've had this feeling more than once. Number 1, representing a guy who was a registered sex offender. He was in his 50s when convicted. His victim was under 14. This is a lot. He was denied disability. He was also nice and courteous but I despised every second that I had to spend in his presence. As you do. As you do. As you would. Okay. Number 2, clients who lie to me or the judge, particularly about drug use. I've got your medical records and I can see all your blood tests and urine tests. I can see that you've admitted it to your doctor. If you're not going to tell the truth to your own lawyer, how do you expect me to help you? P.S. 99% of the people that I represent probably deserved disability. We were all one medical problem away from never working again. Damn. That's a hell of a way to put things, man. We are all one medical problem away from never working again or never enjoying life again. Be kind to one another and don't take your health for granted. You know what? I need to kick back up these donation workouts, boy. My God. The spookiness of perhaps becoming disabled is not cool. We don't want it to happen. I have to imagine I don't have any disabled viewers. But hopefully I don't have any viewers that become disabled either. Number 12. Not that one. It's probably way higher up. Deleted. And here we are. I sat in on a personal injury case where the plaintiff broke their leg in an accident and had a doctor on the stand as an expert. The woman's lawyers begin questioning the doctor about their experience with leg injuries. He was a well-known orthopedic surgeon in the area. She asks if he has ever treated a tibia fracture. The leg bones are tibia and fibula. To which he only answers no. Then she starts grilling him with questions about the tibula. After 6 to 7 questions, she asks, "How did you get a medical license and have been able to practice medicine this long if you've never treated a tibia fracture?" And begins a small rant about going after his credentials and those that gave it to him, to which he simply responds, "There is no bone named the tibula." The end. Well, I don't think the type of females that can be embarrassed in court are the types that you should feel safe around, boy. You know? There's like being embarrassed, but like once you think you're like smart and you have an audience of people that are just like basking in your stupidity, you may be in trouble. Ooh. Linda says Kyle Ma is legally disabled. She listens occasionally. But she listens through you. So I mean, I guess people who just naturally listen to me who are disabled. Man, here's hoping that paycheck that they get makes it all better. You know what I mean? We all need a little bit of make it better juice. But not for real make it better juice. Do not drink. Or at least don't drink heavily, you know? Keep it together, guys. I believe in you. Not really. This guy says he hasn't had a case that he wanted to lose. Amazing. He says, if I, for some reason, can't stand someone, I'm not taking their case. Well, my man. Once I do represent someone, I begin to identify with their side and their version of the story. For some people, there's a psychological mechanism behind it, and once you have taken that position, you'll go to great lengths to justify the position both to yourself and to others. Okay. Don't know the English term for that. It's a bias that you need to be aware of in order to calculate the risk of your client. because you tend to overestimate your chance of winning a dispute or lawsuit once you found the arguments for the case. Okay. I feel like I wouldn't call it sticky, man, but I'd call it something. Like, I just woke up, I'm not sure I'm hearing properly. Everything doesn't sound as loud as it normally does. I don't want to have this too loud, but I feel like I'm speaking up to try to catch, and I don't want to be yelling into the microphone because I'm feeling like I'm not loud enough. But this may be too loud. I'm hearing a bit of feedback, and there may be too much mouth noises. Number 9 says, I'm a defense attorney. Is that what that says? Or does it say divorce? Get it together. I'm a divorce attorney. All right. You son of a bitch. Is this a comedy show? Waka waka time? All right. Take 3. I'm a divorce attorney. There are several people that I've represented who aren't dangerous, but are pretty shitty as parents. It's hard to help them fight for their kids without also fighting for them to be better parents. Fortunately, I live in a state where that kind of advice is allowed. Otherwise, I'd want many of my clients to lose. Somebody said, fam, your username. And then this dude's name is Free Rim Jobs for Dogs. Cursed comment of the night. Yeah. You heard it here first, folks. I don't want to hear y'all saying stuff like this. Hello to everyone in the chat. You guys, maybe I streamed too late. You guys seem sterilized. I can assume that a portion of you may be playing something, a portion of you may be laying down. Maybe a portion of you are, I don't know, like showering or washing dishes. Elizabeth says they're just crying. Oh, so it's like a typical night. Typical night for Elizabeth. Just kidding, Elizabeth. I hope it all gets better. And I hope whatever boy isn't paying attention, I'm kidding. But tell us what's wrong. Hello to Nas. He says, what's up, fam? And he's just laying down, chilling out. 9 is deleted, so let me go find 9. This one says, my mother's ex-boyfriend had to defend this guy. And then it leads to an article. The article says, the bodies of a mother and son, 3 years old, were found ritually slain, and the murder trial was told. A young mother and her toddler son were ritually slain. That sounds like cult shit right there. They were buried intertwined in a wood in Clare, which is a place. The woman was shot in the left eye socket at close range, and her 3-year-old son Liam had been shot in the left side of the head at close range. The body of the father Joseph, who was also shot in the left side of the head at close range, was found some 950 feet away in the same wood. This is pretty sad. Pretty chilling stuff, man. Elizabeth says, I'm just a bit sick and it feels like hell. I'm sorry, sweetie, and I hope that your sickness clears up. You know, we all feel a bit under occasionally, and it's not a cool feeling. He's hoping if anybody's not normal right now that we return to that. Yeah, I'm kind of taken aback by how unfortunate this is. You can live your whole life and just, you know, end up shot in the woods, and that's it. What was it all in service of? You know, Jesus Christ. Anyway, some of you are rating the thumbnail. I'll be honest, man. I tell you that sometimes, you know, I may have issues. I may have kind of like, not OCD or, you know, just ADD, but I may have genuine issues because sometimes, even though I know that I'm streaming it around this time and I'm not busy, I will occasionally at like 9:25 just not be able to find what I think I should use as a thumbnail. And then I'll spend sometimes 30 minutes looking for one. It's a tragedy. It's just stupidity on my part. So tonight I kind of just used something. But I think it also works. If that's the look on the lawyer's face when he realizes who he has to defend. Oh my damn. So as we travel back to this list, this dude said 3 out of 10. Why are you looking in the mirror and rating yourself in the middle of my stream, DZZ? Z? I almost forgot a Z because your name put me to sleep. You understand? Can't even make a username that's dope. I know it must be hard, okay? Saha says, my husband knocked me up. I'm never going to be back to normal. Damn. He wanted a piece of Saha's Kit Kat bar. But what if Elizabeth got the good stuff? The creamy caramel. Maybe have a file with different types of cursed pictures to use for thumbnails. Like, what do I look like? Some kind of fucking nerd? Saving all kind of dumbass thumbnails on my freaking hard drive? You know what I mean? Guys, you gotta, sometimes when you live your life, I'm not saying that you should change who you are if this is who you really want to be, but occasionally you can like be self-aware enough to think outside of yourself and think that, you know, what if the FBI showed up right now and they just like look through all of your, like, first of all, they would expect you to have memes, but the memes can't be too dank, you know? Your memes should paint you in a light where you're not somebody that they should have to watch, you know? I like to think if the cops showed up and they saw my real memes, oh my God, you're gonna have a problem. They're gonna know. Heavily Armed says, at least my name doesn't make people pass out. Yeah, man, sometimes I'm yawning in the stream and I can't figure out what it's all about, and it's because of this dude and his username. I'm sorry. Oh, we're getting this guy. I'm kidding. It's so stupid. It's so lame. Elizabeth, to answer your question, you know, while you're in the bath, okay, I do have pictures like that. I do have a folder. Maybe every folder on the computer is just dedicated to cursed images. And no, they're not all just going to work for some of the list topics, you know. I almost want to make a video about Activision, who made like the latest Call of Duty game, because they are out here removing everybody's content because they're talking about their shitty little battle royale game type that's coming out soon. And, you know, Activision is issuing false DMCA takedowns to get people's channels struck and to get the content physically removed from their channel. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Let me see what one thing. No, it would replace the Yoda. We're not necessarily wanting that. Plus, there's probably titties in that folder as well. Wouldn't be safe on stream. Okay, I'll show you one. I like this one. It says, excuse me. It says, when you defend atheism and no girl sucked you off on the spot. The nerve of some people. I like this because it reminds me of Lucas. He seems like the type of guy that expects when he just immediately says anything about telomerase or Bernie Sanders or, you know, oh, you guys are ageist. Like some girl is supposed to go, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. I am being prejudiced against poor people. You know what? It's time. My mouth is open. Present unto me thine pee-pee, Lucas. Oh, I have to undo my top. I mean, you deserve it. You deserve it, Lucas. Oh. Fucking psychopath. Okay, now... How about this one? You've heard of Animal Crossing, but have you heard of Animal Croissant? As we move along with this list, number 8, oh yes, a high-maintenance divorce client that was pitching a fit because she was going to have to pay $60 a month in child support. She wanted a recalculation, and I was praying that she would have to pay more. High maintenance. That's messed up. That's messed up. True Shadas is like, I gotta ask you, and then he spells my name wrong. Being Jamaican, do you know where my username come from? Listen, man. Just because I'm Jamaican does not affiliate me with half of the assholes that were making music in Jamaica. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? My younger years were unfortunately filled with a lot of music theory since I had musical inclination. So when I wasn't singing or playing instruments or basically getting into a lot of old shit, I'm talking classical, baby. I'm talking Italian art type garbage, specifically because I needed to be versed in this stuff, especially if I was going to try to arrange music, throwing my hat into that ring. Not saying I don't enjoy a good amount of reggae and definitely some dancehall on occasion. My point is, a lot of what was on the radio, regardless of where in the world that was, it was kind of formulaic. It was kind of like punching a couple of, I don't know, just twisting the same dials. You know there's a difference between music and songs, you know? And I'm not saying that True Shadas or whoever that you want to bring up only make songs and there's no good music there. But some stuff, once you've heard some of it, you've heard all of it. And unfortunately, that took me off of wanting to get into a lot of what people were listening to. So I'm just going to say it like I was versed in things that became really popular. But when it came to shit that was like popular now, I had little to nothing to do with it. There were occasional times I'd dip into some of what was mainstream, etc., because I had to arrange some of that for ensembles or something like that. But other than that, boy, oof. And I don't want to seem like some kind of music elitist, but my God, I feel like if I gave too much of a shit, it would make me hate certain music. Also, another interesting thing, I don't want to see a live performance of anything. When I hear music, the way that it's mixed or made or maybe even studio, enhanced, the way I hear it the first time, that's the way I want to hear it for the rest of my life. And unless it's just a straight up remix, if I hear like the same song but with a slight variation, I would hate it. And for that reason, I can't go see live performances because it usually sounds like people doing a poor imitation of themselves. And some people are actually terrible live, which is unfortunate. Some people are actually terrible live. Every time I see Brianna's name, I think of this one Brianna that I know. And I have to wonder if somebody else in the stream chat knows that, like knows the feeling of having a name and then knowing that for some reason they're reminding somebody else of somebody with that name. No, they're reminding somebody of somebody else with that name, which is rude because I shouldn't be reminded of anybody. I should just be thinking about you. And that's what I'm doing, Brianna. I'm thinking about you. I'm not thinking about that other Brianna. What? It's fucked up. That is fucked up. Nas says, "You're Jamaican? Man, y'all are new." Yes, that is what is going on. I'm actually Jamaican. Why do I say that? Because a lot of Jamaicans that were born in America, are really intense about how Jamaican they are, but they weren't born there. I was actually born there, though. What? Brianna says, "Oh, that's so sweet. I feel so special. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so sweet, Kaya." Y'all are killing me. Oh my god. True Shada says, "Not music, just one of the best and one of the only movies to come out of Jamaica that was on Netflix." You cannot say that. Come on now. One of the best movies to come out of Jamaica. Come the fuck on. And it's on Netflix. That's throwing up flags, and I haven't even seen the thing. Flags of the red variety. Elizabeth says, "I just love not having clothes on." So as we continue to number 7. On the regular, honestly, if I wasn't rooting for my client to lose, by the time that I was done working with them, I considered it a small victory. This was a main reason I'm what they call a recovering attorney now. The only recovering attorneys are the ones who quit. The only recovering attorneys are the ones who quit. That's fucked up. The funny thing about being an attorney is that in my mind, much like if you're going to work for the FBI or in the CIA or other agencies where you really need to remove humanity from the equation, you need to desensitize yourself to the world around you. How do you end up being a lawyer for anything more than like a week or like a month? Let's say a month, you get a couple of cases within a month. And you know what it would be like, in my opinion, dude? It'd be like working retail, but you're anxious to speak to people. If you're a lawyer, my dude, your job is to represent people, and people are unbearable. They're liars. They're untrustworthy. Sometimes they're liars, inadvertently. Do you get what I'm saying? It's absolute madness. And there is nothing. And you've probably experienced this with your parents specifically. There is nothing like a person who you catch in a lie that is extremely unsympathetic or lacking in the tact or class to apologize and then even feel bad for it. Do you get what I'm saying? The problem isn't that people accidentally don't understand things or tell a lie that they don't even know is an issue. It's when they have no shame and feel no guilt that you develop a resentment for it. And it's something that is naturally born inside you to have hesitation or an aversion to even being in the midst of a person like that. You ever just have something happen around you and without any action on your part, you make a face? You're not trying to make that face, but your body's natural reaction to bullshit is a cat's hair standing up. You understand? So when some of these people do something or say something and it's not true or it's bad what they've done, but they don't realize that it's bad when they're old enough to know that it's not good, and maybe you even have to verbally bring them to terms with why this isn't okay. Maybe it's illegal. You know what I mean? Your conduct is not becoming of a human, right? Your comment is gross. And then they don't even feel bad about it. It's like, bitch, where do you go with that? You're not their daddy. You're not their mom. You're not here to like teach them how to be a better person. Fuck me. Meta says, Kyle, can you like make a video, but you have to be ratchet all times, no man voice, and then only then will you receive the 2 inches? You know, I'm going to assume that this is a reference to something. Ultra says, answer the effing question, Kyle. Answer what question, bitch? Why are you unhappy in life? People can't answer that question for you. You better get a grip, homie. You better get a grip. Shout out to Johnny Bravo in the stream chat. Thank you for becoming a member. I know joining this channel is like jumping in to a war zone. It's real shit. Real nigga shit in here. Number 6, all right? I'm a law student, but the place that I worked at last summer was a civil litigation firm with one partner who did mostly criminal defense. None of the associate attorneys liked getting assignments from that partner, since none of them had really signed on to do criminal defense work. Defending some criminals. They're not all guilty in America. Hey boy, I just sprinkled these drugs on you. No, don't sprinkle the joint.
Just stopping by to say hi.
Now, Mr. Ryukage, you're saving my life, and I love you. Okay, because it's a critical time. It's a scary time. YouTube's fucking with me. And they did recently remonetize the channel, but I'm not seeing any of that for another month. In my face with a can of mace. Making me cry all over the place. You know, cue Naruto sadness and sorrow music. Okay. Thank you, my man, Mr. Ryukage. At the same time, though, I really do hope that nobody heard me inhaling just now, because it might have sounded similar to a trumpet snort to clear my nasal passages. But you made that up. You imagined that. That didn't happen, okay?
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, wow. Smoke weed every day because of that $7.70 donation, which was actually $4.20. Plus what?
What's $3.50?
$3.50.
$3.50. $3.50.
Now, since you're all in the tub, getting all soapy and beautiful, allow me to continue with this entry. I'm a law student, but the place that I worked at last summer was a civil litigation firm with one partner who did mostly criminal defense. None of the associate attorneys liked getting assignments from the partner, since none of them really signed on to do criminal defense work. Anyway, one associate ends up having to write an appeal for a guy who was convicted of raping and murdering his young child. God damn. There was a serious constitutional violation that the appeal was based on, but realistically the entire office was hoping that the appeal would be denied, including the associate who got stuck writing it. Well, again, some of these people, man, when they do what they do, if they get caught, how do they get away unless they are treated, gingerly by whoever handles them? What I'm asking is, how do you get into prison and have word not get out about what you did, Because the prisoners will handle that in a different way. You know what I'm talking about? Why am I getting recommended videos of big titty bitches on Twitter? Like, ew. Ew. No. And them titties are way spread out. That's not even like cleavage. That's just like... And then they go to separate sides of the world. I'm less than pleased with what Twitter just recommended to me. Saddened even. Please make Twitter stop, guys. You know? It poorly recommended too. Can I give this a thumbs down? I wish I had 2 more hands so I could give this 4 thumbs down. Damn. Number 5. Not quite, but I did a trial where I won, and the defendant came up after the guilty verdict and told me that I had done a great job and he thought I was excellent in the trial. It was tough because sometimes you want the defendant to be mad at you to make it easier to send them to jail. This honestly was a guy who was taking responsibility for his actions. His mother was present, so it left.
Love your streams.
And I love you, John Bravo. You know, I appreciate that you're becoming an adult and that you're going above and beyond by supporting me, you know, by showing that you can spare this. And that, again, this will wash over any and everybody who watches, because if ever I were reaching a point where these were getting difficult to do, I'd remind myself that you guys deserve no less. Sorry, when I say you're becoming a man, it's because, you know, your name's supposed to be Johnny Bravo, but your donation name was John Bravo. Don't call me Johnny. Call me John. I'm a man. Now that's what I'm talking about. Number 4. Defended a wait. Yeah, I finished it. Number 4. Defended a company that attracted a bunch of its employees with a profit-sharing incentive scheme. After 5 years, they tried to change the definition of profit in the employee contract so that they could argue that no incentives were payable. I was neither surprised nor unhappy when the judge told our clients they were full of shit. Some people will do anything to try to get away with not paying people. It's crazy. Like, y'all just want slaves. And I get it. This is how the people in positions high up in a company get rich and stay rich. But sometimes it ain't about being rich. It's about getting all of the money. That's tiny titty energy, man. And I know people are better than that. I believe they can be better. So we continue up this list. I love you. Hello, Johnny Bravo. Hello, Simeon. Hello, Oliver. Number 3, family lawyer here. Associate. So I don't get the pick of the clients yet. I had one where both of the parents sucked. They were heroin addicts. I had a mom, but I didn't want either parent to end up with custody. No, sorry, I had the mom that I was working with in the case, and I didn't want either of them to end up with the custody. I have to tell you guys. Wish is an app where you can like order shit, like little knickknacks like you would get from AliExpress. And I don't know if you guys know about Wish or AliExpress, so I'll just say that it's kind of like cutting out the middleman if you want to buy, like, you know, silly things like plushes for little dolls, as far as like anime shit, or phone cases, things like that. Maybe they sell other kind of weird shit as well, like action figures. Maybe I could put that in the shelf behind me when it's time. But I haven't used it obviously in days, and in years. 2 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 I want to say it's just Chinese. Excuse me. What do I say? But, you order something and it comes from China. Now, I haven't used this thing in months, but obviously now isn't the time to use this thing because of the coronavirus. But thank you, Linda. More so now than ever, I have been blown up on a daily basis by at least 4 to 5 notifications from the Wish app trying to get me to buy something. And it's like, bitch, y'all already know why people. Look, I haven't had Chinese food in months. Do you know what that does to me? Snapchat me your favorite Chinese food recipe. Because I wanted to make Chinese food recently, but I realized that I wouldn't be able to do it effectively unless I was willing to fry that chicken in some panko, and I wasn't in the mood. I'm the type of guy where I can't stand the heat, so I have to get out of the kitchen. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna burst into flames in there. I'm a baby. I get in the kitchen and I can't cut it. But maybe that's because Kyle has a layer of blubber to keep him warm in the winter time. So in the kitchen, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for me in the kitchen. Oh my God. So, number 3, family lawyer here, associate, so I can't pick my clients yet. I had a case where both the parents were terrible. They were heroin addicts, and I ended up representing the mother. I didn't want either parent to end up with custody. The DFCS had been called out, but had deemed it not severe enough to warrant removing the child. So I ended up calling another lawyer and strategizing with her to represent the grandparents so that they could intervene for custody. It worked. The child is with the grandma and doing much better, and the parents are still addicts. Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to tell you, okay? But just remember this when you're in the shower and you're sudsing up your boobies just for me, okay? I shared this with you and I probably shouldn't have. But it's the truth. I knew a girl who wasn't just addicted to drugs or alcohol or anything typical like that. She was addicted to what I would call the lifestyle of being a thought. You understand? It wasn't just sexual, it was almost exclusively, not exclusively, obviously she was getting banged and sucking stuff and shit like that, but it was very much about the attention that she received as a hoe that is online showing her titties. And showing your titties online isn't what makes you a hoe. It's believing that you're not only like better than other people because you get attention from a lot of people, and it's not just that. It's believing that you're better than other people, receiving all of that attention, and then having that be how you measure yourself and other people. Okay? Because if you measure yourself based on the amount of attention you get when you're just a girl that's using, sex appeal to, I want to say, almost take advantage of certain people who delude themselves into believing that they can be with you, it's a very slippery slope. Because we can't get up on a high horse and say, oh, that's not healthy, blah, blah, blah. People are going to judge themselves, and they're going to base their self-worth over how many people pay them attention, how many necks they can get to jerk in their direction, more types of necks than one, if you know what I'm talking about, jerk. But it's when you start believing that you're significant or that you're amazing, specifically because a couple of these people are willing to pay you that attention, that it becomes a little bit crazy. Sorry, I digress. This girl was an addict for the attention that she'd receive, for, throwing herself out there, being the girl. She's the type of girl also that would be upset if there were other girls in a scenario. Like, she had to be the only one, obviously, because she wasn't the best and couldn't really compete with some girls who maybe naturally were either younger or just had it more going on as far as like being more attractive, or was a little bit tighter than she was. Long story short, this bitch had a kid, okay? But so corrupt, so invested in her lifestyle was she, that the kid began to suffer. And it became clear that the child was not something that she would be able to fit into the lifestyle that she refused to drop because of the kid. You know, because of her devotion to this lifestyle and the kid coming in and not comparing as far as she was concerned, like she just wasn't going to change. So one day, dude, the kid just vanishes. And she keeps doing what she does without a fucking mention, dude. I have no information on what happened to that kid. Whether it was given up for adoption, whether the family came. Boy, I want you to know there's more addictions for some hoes than just fucking alcohol and drugs, dude. This girl was just a thought, and she knew that the attention she got for being that manner of thought would not flourish with a baby on deck, that she couldn't keep this life with a baby. Now, here's the thing. I like to imagine a lot of thoughts are very entrepreneurial in what the hell they got going on. And maybe they have a kid and they find a way to juggle it and just keep it out of the professional aspects of the thoughterry, right? But this girl, dude, wanted it to be 100% action all the time. And how can it be 100% action when you got a baby? So she made the decision to not change, but to take the baby out the equation. And I know it doesn't sound as scary to y'all, but I want you to think about that, man. That could have happened with our parents. Your mom could have decided, you know what, man? Hoeing is all it's about. Fuck this kid. I didn't want this kid anyway. This kid is getting in the way. And in the same way that she could make a decision to be like, no, I don't need to put myself in a position where there are other women around because I can't compete with that. She was just like, this baby is not gonna, help this thoughting. Holy bing bong. Holy bing bong, okay? It's sad to think about, but it's the truth. Waltzing says, hey, my friend in Wuhan told me that China is forcing everyone to take mysterious medicine. She's not sure if it's actually medicine or a poison. I can't comment. Everything I say about Wuhan is racist, And it's not because it actually is, but it's because people can construe everything as being racist. And that's pretty crazy. Okay. Hughes Houghton says, dude, have you seen that 3D hentai cam girl that's exploded in popularity recently? Look, I know you don't watch my videos, but I made a video about that. You might go check that out. You might be able to do that. You should probably go look at my recent videos and maybe you can answer that question there. Wow. Seraphin Bear says, this thoughting be rotting. Were you writing that one while I was going on about it? Oh boy. AK-47. So we continue up this list. We're here at number 2. My friend used to be a plaintiff's personal injury attorney. He told me this story about how he lost his client some money. The client was trying to use his kid to get money from a car accident. See, you can use your kids as props in your bullshit agenda to get more money, Some people regard children as a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket. I will use this kid to make my way. Didn't just take the kid to the emergency room. He took the kid to a chiropractor, tried to act like the kid was really hurt. Pro tip, kids don't get the kind of soft tissue injuries that adults and especially elderly people can get. So my friend does some extra negotiating, gets most of the settlement money paid to the kid. His client doesn't realize until after the papers were signed that most of his money was going to sit in the court registry and go to the kid when he turns 18. He got angry, and my friend was like, I thought that's what you wanted. I got a lot of money for your kid's injuries. Oh boy. My man Waltzing says fuck the Chinese government. The funny thing is, if YouTube could, they would probably ban anybody who said that. And what's amusing is like, how are we supposed to feel any differently? How are we supposed to feel any differently? It doesn't make us racist to recognize that the government somewhere that's not where we live is corrupt, because that's the definition of corruption. Your government noticed a problem, and instead of acting on that problem, you started punishing the people who were bringing it up as a problem. I want you to imagine, let me make an analogy that really spells out the coronavirus for people who may or may not be aware. Think of the coronavirus as a building that has a fire in it, okay? Now, in China, people were going, hey, there's a fire in this building. And first the Chinese government would be like, shh, you be quiet. Don't talk about that. Shh. No, that's not true. There's no fire. Everything's fine. Okay? So more people would show up and be like, no, dude, seriously, this fire is starting to get bad. They're covered in soot. They've got the ashes of having been real close to this fire all over them. Proof positive, right? Maybe they're trying to put it on social media. Hey man, there was a fire here. We really need people to get out here and do something about it. So China starts arresting people. Bruh, this is damn near a full month before the virus breaks out the way that we know that it will. Okay? So, and I'm not lying to you, this is why this is such a great analogy, is that the fire spreads. It gets worse in the time that instead of actually doing something about it, they literally were just punishing the people who were bringing it to people's attention. And instead of actually trying to mitigate the spread or actually isolate what the hell was going on, by maybe even making people aware, shit like that, they decided to throw gas on that fire. You understand? Now, what do I mean when I say gas on the fire as it pertains to the coronavirus? Before China was making people aware of the virus, they allowed a big feast to take place. And I'm not talking about, like, when you think feast, you may be thinking like a bunch of niggas at a church, maybe like 1,000 maximum people. You go to a church and it's a big church and we're having a feast, we're having like a potluck and there's a bunch of people there. No, dude, 100,000 people attended a feast. A feast after China was aware that the coronavirus was a thing. You understand? So people sharing plates, people swapping fucking, drink bottles and all kind of bullshit like this, dude. After people were made aware that this virus was a thing and they were being silenced, okay? So look, China is a place that has been caught several times right now, as far as the government is concerned, lying about the numbers of people dying. Now, I don't think there is anything worse that you can lie about when it comes to a damn virus, dude. Why are you lying about the number of bodies dropping? And we're getting all these videos and audio recordings of people working at like a crematorium who are crying their eyeballs out and saying shit like how they want to go on a killing spree so it can just be over for them and that they can be gunned down and it can just be done. Them saying they want to die because of what they're doing. Those are dead bodies. I guess you're just doing your job. But when you're exhausted to the point where it's like, holy shit, the doctors and nurses are dealing with more than they're ever going to be able to fucking handle. And some of them know, as they're working and trying to make these people better, that not only are they not going to be able to save these people, but they won't be able to save themselves, boy. And you're wasting money doing like stupid shit to posture, to silence the people who were only bringing it to, like, can you imagine And I'm sorry to use an analogy, but I think it's really important. As far as I'm concerned, allowing a banquet with 100,000 people to happen after you know a virus has occurred, that's gas on a fire. When people are bringing up, hey, there's a virus going on and it sucks, you know? And you just take out a gun and you blam. And that's what's up, man. I want to show y'all these videos that I have. I have some dank videos. But YouTube would take that shit down because there's too many bodies. There's too many bodies. You've heard me on this channel say the same thing over the couple of days. And it's this. In China right now, they'll jump up on whatever official bing bong and they'll say, there are 100 people dead. And then somebody in their house can look in their backyard and there go 200 bodies right there in a ditch. On a daily basis, they're seeing multiple bodies being carted up, put in a van drives off. People getting welded into their apartment complexes, told that you can't come out. Millions of people quarantined? Millions? It's hard for us to imagine, but that's that. That is that, man. Whatever. I want to show y'all some of these videos, dude. I want to show y'all some of these videos, but it's not worth getting in trouble for it. What I think I'll do is I'll mix the video, I'll blur some shit out, and then I'll make the main video available on BitChute for the 5 or 6 of you who are interested in seeing it. But I do think it's important for you to see it because I think the narrative that we're all racist for having a problem with it at all, when they are the ones withholding information in a way that will be detrimental as a whole. Do you get what I'm saying? It'll be detrimental because right now I want you to think of like a very powerful enemy that's coming towards us. And the enemy has already fucked up other people. Say it's an archer and he's using flaming arrows. Okay? Now, if we had the information that it's an archer and he's using flaming arrows, we could probably equip ourselves with some kind of like fire hose or something crazy like that and better be suited to take on this foe. But right now what China is doing is lying about the damage that was done and not giving us information on this thing. And I don't know how that's, you know, not a fucking crime. You get what I'm saying? I don't know how that's not a fucking crime. Whatever. As we complete this list. Wow. As we complete this list. Cases that, you know, lawyers wanted to lose. Number 1, I worked at a civil firm. Our biggest client was a real estate investor who was one of the most unpleasant assholes that I'd ever met. I guess wealth will do that to you. His favorite scheme was buying distressed properties, which is a fancy way of saying unlivable shitholes at foreclosure sales. He would sell them on credit to people who couldn't afford to purchase a house any other way. He waited for the buyer to fix the place up with their own money, and then finding an excuse to foreclose on them so that he could buy back the place and sell it for more to somebody else. As you can imagine, this is wildly illegal and got him sued by many, many people. Trying to defend this indefensible asshole against the people that he screwed over was a nightmare. But I desperately needed the job. We dropped him as a client when he stopped paying his bills, and I hope he winds up behind bars or bankrupt. The fact that some of these people can make it, you know? The fact that some of these people can make it. Synthetic Alien Sun says, Kyle, you've just described the plot of a virus movie. I don't want to alarm you, but it's 1,000 times worse right now. A lot of people have the luxury of existing not being aware of just how awfully the coronavirus has unfolded over in China because of their government. And it's worse than science fiction. It's worse than the type of post-apocalyptic fucking nightmare you would see in a book or a movie. It is worse. This thing broke loose. And instead of dedicating the time, effort, and manpower into trying their best To get this shit under control, to get people situated, they are just welding people with torches and barricades into their homes. They have shut shit down. Nobody can go to school. Nobody can go here. Nobody can go there. Nobody can get gas and jump in their car. There are videos of people being like literally dragged out of their car and hoisted off, never to be seen again. Dude, like, you don't know. And you gotta, it's crazy because the sterilization has already begun in another way, in the worst way, where Twitter doesn't really have the best videos anymore. Maybe you'll catch a couple before Twitter takes that shit down. The scary part of all of this isn't just the virus, it's the way that people in positions of power and people in positions of information are handling this. The WHO, the World Health Organization, has gone full clown mode. And went full clown mode almost immediately, not declaring what this was. It seems like they're trying to get money from people. It seems like they're really excited by being able to jump up and do some live streams. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It's like, hey, something's going on. Can you give us information about it? And it's, you know, cue that clown music. I don't know where to begin with half of it. Don't know where to begin. But I have the videos and I can just compile those into a neat little compilation and show you. Somebody else should be doing that, but NBA commissioner says the All-Star Game MVP will now be the Kobe Bryant Award. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Jeez. Hey, that bodysuit looks nice. You have to wonder why we don't get more gifts like this. And it's because of the aliens. The aliens. Alright? Why do I feel like you're also in danger of like debris puncturing your suit out there? Maybe I have a funny, belief as it pertains to space and what might be hurtling around in the Earth's pull. Imagine being up there, man, and knowing that that's the Earth down there and all the fucking people. And all the people. Guys, I love you. Send me something good. Join the Discord if you want notifications of when the streams are popping off. And I will see you all soon. I'm going to go ahead and mix up that video now, even if it is just me compiling a lot of the videos back to back. But I will be in the Discord letting you all know about it if you're not on the Discord and you want me to let you know when it goes up, because I may upload it to BitChute. But like I said, I'll try to upload it both places and just censor one version of it. Snapchat me and I will hit you with that BitChute link, or I'll drop it in the Discord like I said, but I know some people may be confused by that thing. Art Scrub says there is a cultural distrust against doctors in China. I saw videos on Twitter of nurses crying because they fear the people will blame the virus for the doctors existing. Wait, blame the doctors for the virus existing. The thing is, the people who... Everybody's in shit creek without a paddle right now. So whoever, exists after all of this is done, not saying that everybody's going to die or anything like that. It's just going to be ignorant people casting the blame on different people And, you know, the government will be able to decide how they're going to indoctrinate the people and what they should believe. So it'll be really funny to see. My face. All right, thank you. Love you. Like the video. Talk to you soon. Later. I'll find something fun for us to do, so keep your eyes peeled. And I'll notify you in the Discord. Bye.